Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey and today is the Crochet Hexagon Afghan. Now this is almost a beginner level, definitely an easy level for sure, and I'm going to show you how to make one of these motifs, and then I'm going to show you a little trick on how to finish these motifs and also how to sew them together. So today we're going to examine page number 2. It's a 2-page pattern and page number 2 has a crochet diagram, and it also has a layout for where you want things to go. Let's talk about this layout first and then we'll get heavily into that. So fresh out of college I'm going into automotive design, and with automotive left always equals right, except for if it's just steering wheel. Obviously you don't have it on the right here in North America. So it's kind of an interesting thing is that you see this in it, you can see the symmetry. Daniel did one of these, it's the only Afghan he's ever made, and he did one of these kind of concepts. It's not exactly this pattern, but he randomized it with 3 different colors, and when he went to go sew them together it was like that's not matching each other. And so what he did is did pools and randomization, and it looked amazing. But for me, because I'm very symmetrical based, I struggle with that a lot, but then I really appreciate people who can mix this stuff up. So this gives you opportunities to be able to get the right counts for the ideas, but you can obviously change anything that you want, including adding or subtracting colors. So let's get into the diagram next. So here's the crochet diagram. That's all it is to do this. So we're going to be examining this a little more carefully, and everything that you need to know is in the stitch key right here, every shape that you have. So it's a neat thing to do. So I love these diagrams. It's very easy, and I rely on these more than anything in the world really when it comes to crochet. So let's take a look at this pattern because we have to determine if we're going in the right or left, or does it matter. Let's take a look. So when we're looking at this, say there was no written instructions and you were looking at this and you thought, okay, am I traveling my eyes in the counterclockwise or am I going clockwise? And the answer is that you look towards the stitch, the slip stitch, and you see that there. So when you're looking at that, okay, so you know that you have to go in a certain direction. Does it matter if it's going this way or that way? Not technically, no, but you want to look for that stitch marker to give you the indication in which way that your eyes will follow. So many people think that crochet diagrams are left or right, but the fact is they're not either. It's just a matter of where you follow your eyes, because when you look at crochet diagrams that go up in rows, you can follow it in either direction and still have great results. So what we are looking here is that the chain usually to start a round or a row is starting. So usually when we go to crochet, you can't just have a chain and then a gapping space, because there it shows that a stitch is going into that. So that means that this chain is the starting of a round, and then you're gonna put 2 double crochets with that to make that into, I believe, what it's called, a cluster. Not 100%. What am I? A double crochet 2 or 3 together. That's what it's called. Sometimes it's called a cluster. Then we're going to chain 3, and then you do another cluster into the same ring, and you keep following it each way around. Now because this is a beautiful particular motif, when you go to finish it, it's kind of unique. So you're gonna chain 1 after you get it round, and then you're gonna join it to the top of this one using a half double crochet. We use those in designs when we want to get the next section to be directly in the middle of a space. So that's how you do it. So if you don't want to be in the middle of space, you would chain 3 and attach here, but then you're kind of like, okay, now I'm here, I'm not in the middle of the space. So this whole thing is that we're gonna follow in the counterclockwise positioning as we're going around. And if you would have looked up here, you would have kind of gotten the indication as well of which way to follow. Now usually if there's diagrams that have you change direction, they will have an arrow saying, okay, we're going in this direction, but sometimes you're gonna turn the work and go in the opposite direction. So there's usually an arrow when it comes to the rounds, but in the rows it's usually just back and forth. So it's a neat kind of concept. It's a really easy pattern to be able to follow, and we're gonna be diving into this. You're gonna need a 5mm size H crochet hook today. Caron Simply Soft is the yarn of choice, and they have 4 different colors, and you can see the counts that you need to do in order to do that on the pattern. So let's get started and let's begin. To make sure that I understood the pattern, of course I had to do a sample, and I've left it open here for a reason, and I'll show you that in a little bit why I've done that. So, and I'm gonna do that because of the fact that I'll show you later. So just bear with me. So you can do this. If you want to change colors at any point, you're more than welcome to do so. That's kind of an easy way to do it. Now you would have noticed in the counts of here, you're gonna notice it's make 25 of one color, 20 of another, 24 of another, and then 24 of another. You have to do that because it's being puzzled together with the hexagon, so just keep an eye out for that. Let's grab our yarn and let's create a slip knot and let's begin. So to begin, you can either follow the written instructions or just follow the diagram, and we're going to create a slip knot to begin on your 5mm size H crochet hook today. You're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And insert your hook into the beginning chain all the way over here and just yarning over, pulling it through and through, and that will close this center ring so you can put your finger through it. And then just put that straggler so it's around the outside of that ring so it gets stuck underneath so you don't have to sew it later. And let's officially begin round number 1. In round number 1 we have to do what is called as a beginning stitch. So we can't just immediately do a 3 double crochet together because there is no stitch work to play with. So we have to chain up 3 to start. So 1, 2, and 3. Now in the center of that ring you want to do 2 together double crochet because this is already here. Okay, so these 3 stitches will work together. So to do that, just wrap the hook and going into the ring and then pull through and then pull through 2 and don't finish that stitch. Normally in double crochet you would yarn over and pull through the final 2. Do that one more time. So yarn over, same ring, pull through 2, and now you have 3 loops on the hook. It's usually always gonna be 4, but because it's just starting it's only 3, and then pull through all 3 and that finishes off that stitch. Now to get to the next one we have to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and now we're gonna do a 3 together double crochet because we don't have that chaining of 3 to begin. So yarn over, going into the ring, pull through 2 and hold it. Okay, and then do that 2 more times. That's right, you got it. And then pull through all 4 loops. Now you're gonna chain 3 to advance to the next one. So 1, 2, 3, and then coming into the center of the ring, yarn over and in, pull through 2, and keep doing that until you get 4 loops on the hook. So if you know what to look for in the end of the 4 loops, you don't have to count as hard. So you do that and then pull through. So you can see that you got 3 of the 6 done. So chain 3 and keep on moving. So I'm just gonna speed up a little bit. As we progress into this tutorial it's a matter of doing a repeat pattern, and then you'll see the repeating happening and you can venture out on your own to create your own adventure today. So how many, so we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we got 1 more to do. There needs to be 6. That kind of makes sense, right? It's a hexagon. Hexagon is 6 sides, so 6 is that magic number that we're looking for today. And once you have your 4 loops, pull through all of them and just kind of shift things if you have to, and then chain 1, and we're going to join to the top of this one. Watch where I'm about to join. Do you see that this here, that is where everything came together. That's the top of your stitch. So yarn over and going right into that there. Don't go into a space, go right into that stitch and yarn over, pull through, and then pull through all 3. And what that does is it gets you started for the next round, and you'll be directly between 2 of these 3 together double crochets. Let's begin round number 2. So let's begin round number 2. We're gonna do 1/2 of this space here, and then we'll finish the half when we get back, but the rest of them we will finish. So let's begin. We're gonna chain 3 and we're gonna put 2 double crochet together. So just going in, pull through 2 and hold, and just do it because that chain 3 counts as the first one, and then pull through all 3. So now we're gonna advance to the next space. Every one of these, to make it easier for you to know, is that you're gonna chain 3 and then you're going to advance to the next one. So each one of these spaces has 2 of those in it, these double crochet 3 togethers, but there's chain 3s that separate them. So let's do the next one. So here's 1. So I told you they have a chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, but you're not done with that space. You want to put another one in. So that each one of these has 2. And the first one that we have to do the other one when we get back there. Okay, so there's 2 into that one, so chain 3 to advance. So there's chain 3s in between all of them. Go to the next space and then do the next pair that you need to do. Chain 3, but you're not ready to move on, keep with that same space so you can put 2 into that. Okay, and then chain 3 and then move to the next space and keep on doing that all the way around. This is round number 2. So I'm coming all the way around number 2. So this is where we started, so we're gonna finish the second one because the first one's already in, and we're going to do our 3 together. And once you get that done, it's like how we joined it before. So chain 1 and then half double crochet again into this section right there. So that's where you're gonna go. If you're gonna choose somewhere else, just make sure you choose the same spot in each one of your motifs, and then it will be correct. And then you can always shift things around and get things to look fabulous. And let's move on to round number 3. So let's begin round number 3. So right now we have an idea that we are gonna be creating corners, and we're also gonna be creating side edges. So those side edges are the flat edge. So when we start, we're actually starting in the flat edge. So let's just do chain 3, and in the same spot you want to do your 2 double crochet 2 together like that, and you're still gonna chain your 3. So that hasn't changed. So chaining of the 3 is consistent. The next one will be the new corner. Okay, so if you're looking, see how the pair is in the same one? That's a flat edge, and the space that is in between the pairs is the corner, and there's 6 corners of course because it's a hexagon. So just starting with the next one, just put in 3 together and then chain 3. So 1 2 3, and in the same space do it one more time, 3 together, and now you've just officially created one of the corners of 6. So chain 3. So if those are making a corner, this next one has to be a flat edge. So there's only gonna be 1 3 together double crochet in there, and then chain 3 and move on. So the next one has to be then a corner, and you see it's in between the spaces. Do you see that? It's in between the corners. I'm trying to give you a visual of where to look so you don't have to really think about it too much. So this is a corner, so chain 3 and slam in another 3 together in there. Okay, and then chain 3 to move on. So once that corner is complete, this obviously must be a flat edge, so it will stay a flat edge. And then chain 3, and then this one here must be a corner because you only have 1 in between the corners, right? So we're gonna put in that, chain 3 and one more time, and I want you to do the same concept going all the way around. You can always look at the diagram and verify, but that's what we're up to today. So you'll see the corners are going to start forming, and you'll see the hexagon shape taking effect. Please do the rest of this round. This is round number 3. I'm coming up to the end of round number 3, and this space here before where we started is a corner, of course. Keep that balance, and then what you want to do is just chain up 1 and then reach on over to the top and join it with the half double crochet join. I actually learned that stitch from Jeannie many years ago. So now here's where we are. So you can see you should have 6 corners at this moment. Okay, so you should see those, and then we're gonna move on to round number 4. So just 2 more rounds left. Let's begin round number 4. We're gonna chain up 3. That will count as a double crochet, and then in the same space you are going to put in another double crochet, and you're gonna finish that space when you get back around. Now immediately jump to the next space and put in 3 double crochet. And what I want you to visualize here is that you see that these are together in the same spot. That means that this is a corner. So that means that the next space is a corner. So you're gonna put in 2 double crochets first, and then chain 2 and then 2 double crochet, and that gets you to turn that corner. Do you see that? So now jumping to the next space, so here's the next corner right here. So the 2 spaces in between the corners each have a 3 double crochet. Okay, so you just keep jumping. So it's got that granny square kind of feel to it, really. Okay, so we know that this is a corner. We can see it because they're sharing the same spot, and so you will put in 2 double crochet chain 2 and 2 double crochet. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the rest of this round for you so that you can see here's the corner. So the 2 spaces in between must have 3 double crochet and the corner is 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. I'll see you at the end of this round and we'll carry on to the final round, number 5. I'm coming to the end of number 4 and I'm just doing the corner. There's 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and right where we started with the chain 3 and then a double. So we're just gonna finish off with the double crochet in that space and then just join it with the slip stitch to the top of the first chain 3. So right into a stitch work itself, and then we have one more round to do. So you should see pretty much 6 edges at this point. So now for this one here is that we're gonna chain up 1, and in the same one as the join you're going to apply a single crochet. So this is round number 5. So just single crochet in each one of the double crochets, and then a chain 2 you're going to, in the chain 2 space you're gonna put in 2 double crochet or 2 single crochets. If I'm saying double crochet, I do apologize. I kinda got in trouble for that yesterday. So my mouth is doing one thing, my hands are doing another. So right here in the chain 2 space just 2 single crochet and then continue along. So starting in the first one and single crochet all the way around, and in the chain 2 spaces in the corners just put 2 singles and keep on moving. I'm gonna show you a finishing technique that is not written anywhere. It's something that I've learned in the years, and I think it'll be really quite helpful for you to know, and it's something that you can consider as well. So I'm coming up all the way around and I'm gonna show you a joining technique that isn't written anywhere, but it's available in certain like really high-end stuff. So usually when you get all the way back around you just join it to a slip stitch. When I say high-end, like Mandela's, like more fancier stuff. So you're going to join with the slip stitch. I'm just gonna show you the way it's telling you to do it, and then I'll give you some advice. So you just join with the slip stitch and you pull through, and then that's it. So you'll just trim your yarn, and let me just trim it and just show you what it looks like, and then I'll pull it apart and show you. So you're just gonna pull your yarn through and whatever. So when you did that, it actually creates an additional stitch that is really noticeable when it comes to these Afghans. So what I'm recommending to you, because it is on the flat edge and not a corner, I'm recommending to you that you don't do that. Okay, so let's pull that back out and let's pull that last stitch out. So technically right when you finished you have everything done. So this joining creates what it looks like to be an extra stitch. To do this in a way that makes sense so that you don't have that, is that you can cut your yarn, and on this last one here, instead of joining it, just pull the cut yarn through. Then what I want you to do, or what you can do I should say, is that it only takes a few moments because you gotta fasten it off anyway. So if you put this on here and then slide it directly through this stitch. So do you notice that the yarn is coming out of there? So pull it through there, okay, and then pull it tight. And when you go to fasten this off, I want you to go into the center point of this stitch, right where this other one is coming out of, and stay to the back side of the work. So this is the front, and pull tight. See? That means that this join is pretty much invisible. It's an invisible way to join. Then you're gonna turn it over, and you are just going to just drag it through some of the stitch work. Keep the needle so it doesn't go through to the front side at all, and pull through once, twice, and you'll want to do this back and forth 3 times anyway with the regular kind of join if you're gonna settle for that. But what this will do is that it eliminates that stitch that looks like it doesn't belong, and it does a great job for that. If you went over top of your straggler, you can safely cut that down, and therefore this particular motif is now ready. And so let's see where that join is. It's right there. So once you start joining it together, it'll be really quite hidden. So let me do the other one in the similar way, and then I'll show you how to whip stitch these together. If you're going to go in a symmetrical way, you may want to join these as you're working your way through them to make it not so daunting at the end. But I want to show you something because I've seen this in craft shows and also learning workshops where people decide to almost get lazy with the idea of what they're attaching. And so I want to give you some advice on being able to attach these and use the right color of yarn. More times than I can count I have seen people put stuff like this together, but what they do is they try to minimize the amount of work by just keeping the same strand going. So for example, let's just choose this blue. So you could use a blue strand to attach all of this all the way around, and the strand would be pretty much invisible because this is blue. Even though that all of these are the different colors, this blue one here is matching the join for all of them, so it looks like it's pretty hidden. Where people go wrong is that they want to attach this, and what they'll do is they'll use a color that is not right. So they'll use this color and they'll go all the way around, so it'll match with this color and this color, but there's nothing else of this color that matches when it goes to join. So you will see this color line of the stitching in sections where there's no color there that balances it. So what you would want to do is that when you go to put this together, you want to think about how things are going together, and that you may want to think about the coloring. So make sure that at least the color matches at least one or the other. Okay, so it could either be pink or it could be blue when you're going to do this, and it'll be visible. But if you use this color and go across here, you'll see it. So you want to choose your colors properly. I'm going to show you how to whip stitch so that your blanket will sit flat and nice and even like it shows in the photograph. So let me show you how to join. One side I create a slip knot. I don't know if anybody else does that. I do it because what I want to do is on the other side of this strand, and you want it just long enough that it will just get across, and maybe if you want to go all the way around, just do it long enough so that you don't have as many tails to deal with at the end. So just be strategic about it. You may want to do one all the way around and see how far it goes, and then kind of get an idea. So what you want to do is that you want to go in the first one of the corners. So you see the corners, there was 2 stitches, and let me just get you in a little bit closer here so that you can see that. And you will notice that there is 2 loops. So if you're new to crochet, the one that's closest to you is the front loop, and the one furthest away from you is the back loop. Choose the back loop. Okay, so this is the second one of the corner. So there's 2 in the corner, and this is the second one of the corner. And I want to go through there, but what I want to do is that I want to pick up the next one that's gonna join, and it will be this one here. Okay, and just go in underneath and pick up that back loop only. So it's gonna be the back loop if you were looking at it from this point of view. Okay, from this point of view it's the front loop. It's up to you. Just stay within the same loops that are closest to each other, and then just pull through. And when you pull through, you get mostly the way through, and see that slip knot that just came up? Slide your needle through there and just pull, and that will lock that in. Okay, so make sure that you are thinking about it's never coming back out. So you want to take this straggler and lay it down on top, and you want to advance to the next stitch. So coming to the loop here and loop here, lay the straggler down so it gets stuck underneath there. This is called whip stitching, and then you're going to go to the next one. So you see that, and then just make sure that you get that straggler so it goes up over top of it. It's a great way to hide it without a lot of extra effort, and pull that straggler taut once in a while as well. So advancing to the next and the next. So you may want to consider how many sides that you want to attach at the same time. The more sides that you can attach to one motif, the less times that you have to make these extra strands. So I'm gonna back you out a little bit. So once you get far enough in the stragglers, you can just let it come down, and you may want to push it to the back side. So just put it up underneath, and you can turn it over and just use your tapestry needle to hide that in later. But if you've dragged it under long enough, you won't have to tapestry that at all. You can just cut it because it's safely under these stitches. And because these stitches are joining together, there's tension when they're joining. So what I do is I like to keep the tension here at all times on the project. So I pull through and I release, and I kind of hold on to it, and I keep on going. So I'm going to go all the way until I get to the first one of the 2. Now here there was a join, but because this one here, do you see it? that was where we did that fancy work. You don't even see it, right? Because I had you do it the way that I showed you. But if you would have had it the regular way of doing slip stitching, then you would actually see that there appears to be an extra stitch. So it depends on how you want to play with your game, right? So what I'm doing is I'm looking for the first one of the two, and then that's it. So this is completely joined like that. So if you want to join another one, you can join here and then just carry on, or go either way, it doesn't matter, and then you just keep on going. You will notice that this straggler here will kind of unspin itself, so once in a while just kind of spin it again and get that tension back up. So you don't want to have it completely unspin because you won't have strength. Once you're satisfied with this, what you would want to do is you want to tie it. So let's bring you back in to the game here and go through. So I'm just going through, and then I'm gonna put it through the loop. And what I would do if I were you and you were me, turn it over, and on the back side drag it back and forth. Stay on the back side. Do not let that needle sink through to the front side of this work. So if you turn it over and see that needle come through, you're way too deep. So just coming through, let me just back you out because I think you're a little close to me now. There you go. And now we're just gonna go once and twice. Spend that extra time and do that 3 times as a charm idea. If you're using this blanket, you're gonna have tails coming out everywhere if you don't take care of that now. So you have to determine the one that you were bearing, is it in far enough? If it is, you can just safely cut that and it will not fall out because you started with the slip knot like I showed you. But if you feel more comfortable, you can just drag that through as well. And so you have a nice flat join. See how nice and flat that is? So if you want to went into both of those stitches instead of just the back, what happens is that it buckles up like this and creates a window shape. Okay, so you want to be careful of that. So if you want nice and flat, stay to the back loops, and that's kind of cool. So that's it for today. This is the Crochet Hexagon Afghan. Hopefully my tips help you, and let us know how we do, of course, in the comments and etc. Have a great day. We hope to see you again right here on Yarn Inspirations as well as the crochetcrowd.com. Bye bye.